Okay, great. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. It's a late afternoon session, so I understand you'd have parked out this time to learn more about Microsoft Dynamics 365. So this is the second of the series of webinars that we have planned. We started off in November last year with the first session which was more holistic, looking at digital transformation as a whole, driven by Microsoft Dynamics 365. We looked at what digital transformation really means and how Microsoft Dynamics and the capabilities that Dynamics 365 brings in to enable true digital transformation for organizations, and how we as an organization approach a digital transformation exercise for a client. We looked at some use cases for certain industries like retail, financial services, manufacturing, and looked at a very high level what are the capabilities that Dynamics 365 offers. Over the next few sessions, this is the second in the series, and over the next few sessions, what we plan to do is go deeper into the different modules that Dynamics 365 offers. We want to start off with finance and then go into supply chain, HR, CRM, and then look at industry-specific solutions like retail, manufacturing, financial services, money exchanges. Those are some of the industries that we have significant experience in. We see a lot of demand, and over the next few months or so, we would like to cover these sessions and unravel some of the um, deeper things that are available in Microsoft Dynamics 365 as an ERP solution. So with that, we'll get started. Here's what we are going to do today. I'll just start off with a quick introduction about us, what we do, why are we doing these sessions. We'll spend a little time on that, look at our approach to digital transformation, what digital transformation looks like for an organization, and the approach that we take when we engage with an organization. And then I have my colleagues, Mr. Sobichan Joseph, as well as Mr. Sajir Abdulaziz. Both of them would take a deep dive into Dynamics 365, give an overview about what D365 offers at an overall level, and then we'll look at a deep dive into finance, look at the different modules that are available, look at some of the use cases, and more importantly, what does finance offer? D365 finance offer that is different from other ERPs. What are some of the things that are available that makes you as a user or as a stakeholder or as a management professional, how does it make you intelligent and more effective and efficient in your organization? And then we'll wind up with a quick round of Q&A. You can raise your hands, and if you have any questions in between as we go through the slides, please raise your hand and we'll pick up the questions as we go. So we don't want to be just one-sided. We can stop in between and answer any immediate questions you may have. So starting off, who are we? We are the Solution Consulting. We are a Dubai headquartered Microsoft Dynamics implementation partner. We are an ISO certified organization, and Microsoft Dynamics 365 is bread and butter for us. We offer all the services related to Dynamics 365, from consulting, implementation, integration, customization, the annual maintenance, and helping you out use Microsoft Dynamics in the best possible way. We are almost 130 member team, largely based out of 2 offices in Dubai and India. And we've been around for 7 years now and have worked across 100+ projects. and we boast 100% project success and client retention. And we have been expanding and very soon opening up our office in Saudi Arabia. So in terms of capabilities from Microsoft Dynamics across the board, from finance, supply chain, CRM, HR, Power BI, cloud migration, those are the services solutions that we bring in, and retail, healthcare, specifically pharmacies, manufacturing, money exchanges, real estate, energy. These are some of the industries that we have deep experience in. And in terms of our approach, when we engage with an organization, we would like to be part of that organization. The day we sign up, our team would be like the client's team, and the way we care for our organization, the way we run our organization, that's how we would approach and look at delivering the project for the organization and making sure that you're successful in the transformation that you are going to take part in. We believe in simplifying complexities. ERP is a complex um, process. Your organization with all the different processes, there are a number of complex operations that you may be involved in. We would like to simplify those processes, build a strong partnership with the organization, and then try to solve business problems together. When we take up a digital transformation or an ERP implementation project, we don't approach it as just an infra upgrade or an application upgrade. You may have a small ERP that you may be using currently, or you may be on an older version of Dynamics, or you may be on a full-blown ERP system, but not very happy with the current system and looking to move to another ERP. We don't look at it as just an infra and application upgrade. The ERP implementation or digital transformation goes much deeper. It is a transformation for the business model. It is a transformation for the culture. And this is where we would spend a lot of time. The implementation may take a few months, but the model transformation and cultural transformation may take several months and sometimes even years. And that's where we would want to build that very strong connect with the organization so that we're making sure that your business model and your culture also transforms in addition to the infra and application that you're upgrading. So that's a quick summary about us, our approach. I'll just quickly share a bit about Dynamics 365. What is the suite of solutions that we have? And then I'll hand it over for the deep dive session. So Dynamics 365, it's a suite of solution. It offers a complete platform for your today and tomorrow. So we are living in a very agile, dynamic environment where your supply chain, your finance complexities, your HR requirements, they're changing at a rapid pace. And you need a solution that not only caters to today, but also prepares you for tomorrow, makes you more agile, makes you handle uncertainties in the future. And that is what Microsoft Dynamics truly brings in. There are a number of advantages which you would typically see in any ERP solution, from streamlining to automation to cost reduction. But what we intend with Microsoft Dynamics 365 is to go beyond that. Your ERP is the house for everything that you do within the organization. There is a massive amount of data that you would have. How are you using this data, the intelligence in the system, and making yourself better prepared for the future, better prepared for uncertainties, and better prepared for the growth of your organization? That is what the core focus of Dynamics 365 is, and the entire suite of solution, along with the data and intelligence platform with Power BI and Power Apps, that is what Microsoft Dynamics has has to offer for organizations. How is it differentiated against other ERP solutions? It is, there are these 4 or 5 uh, things that we feel that differentiates Microsoft Dynamics from the other organizations. One, it is something that has been built from scratch. It is an out of the box. A lot of features, a lot of industries get covered out of the box. So there is very little integration, customization required. You would have most of your processes already covered. There are certain industries, and as we see, there are changes happening in the business environment, and Microsoft continuously upgrades the solution on a periodic basis. You would have number of processes and functionalities being added on a daily basis. The UI is one of the key feature that Microsoft offers. We've been used to Windows and the use of Microsoft Office products for ages now, and Dynamics is just an extension from any UI perspective. From that, it is very user friendly, intuitive, and very easily you can adopt to it and learn using Microsoft Dynamics 365. Um, the other important part is that there is a massive partner network that is available. There are more than 64,000 partners who are available who have Dynamics 365 capabilities and can deliver the solution. The partner network helps you identify um, um, they're the one who would be there throughout the process. And these are the partners who have capability to build solutions. The uh, and the reason why we feel Microsoft Dynamics is out of the box is because of the partner network. There are a lot of solutions that partners have been developing. We have developed add-ons to Dynamics 365, and that partner network really helps scale the solution significantly. And lastly, but not the least, analytics and visualization capability. It is par excellence. It is one of the best that you would see with Power Apps, Power BI capabilities. And as we go later in the session, you would be able to see some of the visualizations and analytics that we have helped our other organizations with. Those are some of the examples that we pulled through in the session. With that, that's a quick background about us, Microsoft Dynamics. We're ready to go into a more deeper discussion on Dynamics 365 Finance module. And I will hand over to my colleague, Sobichan Joseph. He's our co-founder and principal consultant with the organization. He brings more than 20 years experience in Microsoft technologies. We have seen Microsoft evolve over these years, and with that expertise, our intent is to get these expertise and experience out to other organizations so that we can help people leverage the capabilities of Dynamics 365. So I will hand it over to Sobi, and before I do that, we just have a quick poll that we'll start. We just want to assess the kind of audience we have. What are you looking at or intending from this session, and why you're spending this time to go through Microsoft Dynamics 365. If you could just answer the poll, that will help us understand the audience that we have, and then as we progress in the session, we will curate our content to cater to the majority of the participants that we have today. So thank you so much for listening in, and I will start the poll and hand it over to Sobich and Joseph. Anshul, do we have the poll on?
Yeah, the poll is running.
Yes, Anish.
Okay, great.
Hi, Anish. Can we start the session or we'll wait for the poll?
We'll just give a minute
Okay.
maybe for people to do it, and then we can
So Anish, we have close to 60 responses, where majority of them are looking to evaluate Microsoft Dynamics 365. They are on Microsoft Dynamics 365 as well. And a lot of people are also looking to just enhance the knowledge of their system.
Got it. Yeah, I see around 42% just to enhance the knowledge. Okay, great. Sobi, we can get started with the deep dive session now.
Okay, Anish, thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction. And good afternoon. Welcome to this session. Once again, thank you very much for joining the session today for this webinar. I will share my screen. Hope you all can see my screen.
Yes, Sobi.
So we understand that there is a mix of crowd here. Most of the people, maybe majority, are known to ERP systems and specific to Dynamics and the AX versions, and some may be new to ERP or these Dynamics versions. So we created, but how we structured this session is we created this session into 3 different parts. The first part would be explaining about the modules and the key functionalities, basically Dynamics and specific to the finance domain. And in this second part, we will see the reporting capabilities, the dashboards, the reporting insight which the ERP brings to you. And in the third session, we will be seeing what is the new things which is coming from the Microsoft in terms of AI, the predictive analytics, and the process automation. Okay, so it will be a structured way. We will be seeing the basic functionalities, then moving to the reporting capabilities, and then we'll be moving to the AI and the predictive analytics and the automation processes. Then after that, we will move to the QA session. So we will start with the first section. So in the first session, we would be covering what is an overview about the dynamic system, ERP system. In the finance modules, like the traditional modules like general ledger, budgeting, tax, cash and bank management, accounts payable, vendor collaboration, account receivable, credit and collection, fixed asset, and other specific modules which are related to finance. So we have a lot of modules available in Dynamics, and we are discussing into some extent or some detail about these modules, and we will see other modules which caters to a specific industry or a specific businesses. So before moving to the deep dive into the finance, so this is an overview of the modules are available in Dynamics. So we call it as one Microsoft. It's a one platform which covers almost all business solutions for different industries or the different verticals, whatsoever business you are doing, maybe in manufacturing, in trade and distribution, in retail, in hospitality. So Microsoft has a solution to meet your requirement. So if you can see here, we have a retail session where can I take care of the retail merchandising, the point of sale, related inventory management, etc. Then we have supply chain management, the suite of applications which take care of supply chain and the procurement, the product information, the sales and marketing, and the planning, all these things. Then we have a performance evaluation, the performance management modules, the budgeting and planning and the reporting. Then connected to everyone, we have an analytics setting on the center, which collects data from all these modules and giving you the reports and the analytics, the dashboards, the insight to take you a factual decision or the informed decisions. So here, if you look at this finance module, where we are going to detail about these finance modules, the GL, asset management, payables, receivable, all these modules. Then there is a content management, we have a human capital management, we have a CRM, we have an omni-channel commerce and fraud protection. So this one Microsoft covers almost all the modules which is required to run a business organization, irrespective of the domain which you are operating. So move on to this one. Now we will focus on the application and mainly we focus on the finance module. But before moving to the finance module, we will just see about some core concepts in the ERP module. It's multi-company, means in the single instance, you can create multiple companies. If your organization working in different countries, different legal entities, you can create all these companies under one instance and you can manage it as it together. At the same time, you can manage it as in the user point, access point, you can have a different user access rights and the privileges. And there's a workspace concept. So this is newly added in Dynamics 365. If you look at the previous version of AX, the concept was not there. The workspace concept helps the users to tailor their day-to-day activities, and you see their what the daily tasks, and you manage their work efficiently. Then there is a feature managed concept is there. Like as Anish said, Microsoft is releasing the new functionalities periodically. So there are frequent releases are coming. So earlier if you look at the AX 2012 version, if you enable a new version, it was a new feature. You need to upgrade to the newer version. It was a time consuming and efforts taking process. Now with the Dynamics 365, it is a very user friendly. There is a feature managed workspace is available. You can go there and you can enable or disable the functionalities as per our convenience and as per our requirement. So as I said, we move to here. So this is the GUI, the interface of the system. So on the left-hand side, we can see the home, the favorite, the recently closed forms. Then there are workspaces and the modules. And here you can see that on the right-hand side on the top, you can select multiple countries, multiple companies, which may be operating in a single country or in a multiple countries. And here, if you look at there is a lot of workspaces are available: bank management, post administration, financial analysis, sales order processing, sales return processing. All these we call it as a workspaces. So how this will enhance our user experience will be. So for example, if you move to a workspace called fixed asset management, you can see that whatever the things which are fixed asset, the person who is taking care of a fixed asset can be seen in a very quick manner. So you can see the not accurate asset, what is accurate this year, disposed this year, all the fixed asset, or they can run a depreciation proposal from the same page, and they can create another acquisition or a disposal or a revaluation journal also from the same space. So if you move to the modules, there may be a lot of functionalities available. It may be a bit confusing for a user, but for an end user perspective, creating a workspace and giving an access to this workspace will make their life very easy. So they can easily access the relevant forms from here. And the same thing you can see there is a my work and the analytics also available here. So related to this particular module, the analytics also workspace also available here. So if they would like to see what is the analytics of this one, for example, fixed asset valuations, they can see from the same page. They can see the valuation maps, where the fixed asset is centered. So all these analytic and BA insight also they will get from the same workspace. So if you want to add another workspace, the good thing is Microsoft has provided hundreds of such workspaces. But if you want to create your own workspaces, you can create those workspaces. And if you want anything to add, any form, anything to be added to a workspace, it is a very easy. If you just go open the form, they can click on the add to workspace, select the workspace, and you can click on configure. Then you can determine how much size the tile size should be there, and you can add to workspace. So why I'm just representing this one is it's so easy to create the configure a workspace and give to a user, or the user itself, they can configure a workspace, which will greatly help them to manage their work efficiently. So this is the feature management. So there you can see that once you move to the feature management, all the features available in the systems is listed here. So you can see all the features, new features, not enabled features, and the scheduled features. So whenever there is a Microsoft is enabling a new feature, it will be available in the new feature. Just you can go and you can enable that one, or you can schedule it for a future period of time. On so and so date, this particular feature should be enabled. So in this way, we can efficiently manage what are the new features coming to the system. You can manage it, or maybe on the time of go live, some features are not available. You can add those features in a later period of time. So you can see that when there is a new feature, performance improvement to filter the project for project invoice proposals with these billing rules. So this one is added on 31st of January. So this is the very new feature. Before 2 days, it's get added to the this is the Dynamics application. So it got listed here. If you want to enable this one, you can go here and click enable now, or you can schedule it. If you schedule it, we can specify a time and date. On that particular time and date, it will get scheduled. So this is just an overview about the main concept and the overview about the solution. So now let's move to the module-wise concept. So as you know, for any financial system, general ledger is the main, very important module. GL is the main module which we need to configure at the first for any financial system. So what is the main thing available? We have a configurable chart of accounts. Like we can define your own chart of accounts as a company. The system comes with template, but you can create and you can define your own chart of account. Then there is a concept of financial dimensions is there. So maybe if you're using dynamic system, you will be familiar with the financial dimension concept. But if you're new to this one, it's a concept of creating your analyzing and reporting dimension, like financial dimension, your department, your business unit, your employees, maybe your list of vehicles. This could be your financial dimension. So you can define your own financial dimensions and use in all the transaction. The advantage of it is two things. You can greatly analyze your financial insight. You can create your own reports. You can generate your P&L up to balance sheet level using a financial dimension. You will get a lot of insight. At the same time, it will drastically reduce the number of chart of accounts or the ledger accounts which you need to create. Traditionally, if you look at, you need to create so many accounts in your chart of accounts, but the concept of financial dimension, you can reduce those chart of account because the main ledger will be defined in the main chart of account, and all the analysis codes like your department, your employees, or your business unit, or your cost center, everything will come as a financial dimension, which can be attached to your posting. Then we have a configurable financial year. As I said, you may be working in different countries. One may be in India, one may be in US, one may be in UAE. So there will be different regulations will be following in those countries. So we can create different financial year by entity wise. Then there is some in general ledger, we have an allocation. You can allocate your expenses. For example, there are certain expenses which we cannot allocate at the time of booking. I will give an example, like there is a business is there which runs in multiple business unit, and you have a expense for an advertisement. So you cannot allocate that one at the time when we are booking an expense, but the later on the mark, when the period comes or the month comes, you would like to allocate these expenses to different business unit so that we will get an accurate P&L. So we can use the allocation concept for that one. And very important thing is the next one is your period close workspace. So this is a very good thing which is introduced with Dynamics 365 because most of the companies are struggling with a month-end closing and a year-end closing. When a month-end comes, what are the things which need to be taken care? Who will do what task? Which has to be allocated to? What is the status of that task? It is it's a difficult thing to manage, especially when we are in a large organization. It is a difficult thing to manage. So the period close workspace is enabling the user to manage all these tasks and assign to the right person a task. We evaluate the status of it, and then we can do a period close on a target date. Then we have an year-end and closing procedure, which is very easy procedure. In some systems, we need to do an year-end closing and the close of 31st, or you can do it in a one time. But here we can do it in multiple times, the year-end process, and it's a very super easy process. And coming to the concept of subledger, it is something like a financial dimensions. We are not loading all our customer, all our vendor, or fixed asset, or bank, all these masters into our GL. So it will be integrated using something like a posting profile. The subledger data will be available in subledger. For example, your customer data, your customer, the aging, the account statement, everything is you will get from the accounts payable module. The consolidated figures will be available in the general ledger. So this way, there will be tight integration between the modules. At the same time, you can handle and you can manage your data accurately. So this is the general ledger workspace. So you can see that when there are a lot of functionalities are available. At the same time, it contains 4 different types of workspaces. You can see general ledger processing workspace, financial period close workspace, financial analysis, and financial analysis for the current companies and all the companies. So these workspaces are also available in this module. So moving to here, as I said, we can create different chart of accounts. For example, if your organization span across different geographical area, and you have a requirement to create multiple chart of accounts for company specific, you can create different chart of accounts for different companies or different entities. Or you wish to use a single consolidated or a single chart of accounts, common chart of account across all the entities, that's also possible. Then coming to the configuration of chart of accounts, you can create your own chart of accounts. So we normally recommend to create some certain practices so that it will be easy for your reporting. For example, all the accounts for start with 1, we will denominate, it denotes the asset. 2, we can start with all the liabilities. 3 can be for the equity. 4 will be for the revenue. 5 can be for your cost of goods sold, COGS account. And 6 may be your other expense account. So this way, you can properly structure your chart of accounts and you can generate your reports very easily. So moving to the financial dimension concept. So these are the sample financial dimensions which we created in the system. You can see agreement, business unit, campaigns, cash flows, conditions, contract, cost center. So many account dimensions are created in the system. So if you ask me how many dimensions can be created, there is no limit to that one. System-wise, there is nothing limiting to create a financial dimension. So you can create as many financial dimensions as possible based on your requirement. So once the financial dimension is created, then inside that we can select the values. For example, I created a business unit, and then under the business unit, I can create the home, auto, management, consulting, IT practices, all these things I can create inside. So the bottom line is I can create as many financial dimensions as possible based on our requirement. Within that, you can define the values, and this can be used for our reporting and your posting purpose. So now, since the account, there are multiple financial dimensions are available. Again, there is a provision we can, using the account structure, you can restrict that posting. For example, maybe if you create a financial dimension called business unit, that may be relevant for your revenue booking and expense booking, but may not be relevant for your balance sheet items. So that type of restrictions we can build in using the account structure. So here we can mention that one, which is mandatory, which is not mandatory. And again, you can build in the advanced definition also. For example, if you select a business unit A, then only the set of department has to come. So these type of hierarchy relations also can be set up using the account structure. The advantage of being is you can strictly monitor your accounting, and you can have a strict control on what is to be posted in your ledger, and your trial balance will be very accurate. Then coming to the subledger posting purpose, we have a different posting profiles available, like vendor posting profile, customer posting profile, fixed asset posting profile, inventory posting profile. So these posting profiles are used to integrate your subledger modules, the financials, to your main ledger. So it is already established, the relation is established and published. So whenever you are doing any transaction in the subledger module, all the automatic entries would be posted without any manual intervention. So all the entries will be automated by the system from the subledger to the main ledger instantaneously. There will not be any delay for passing the entries. So it's not a batch process, it's always a real-time process. So another advantage is you can create, as I said, we can create different physical calendars and we can define. So for example, here, this physical calendar is from April to March. Another physical calendar may be from Jan to December. So likewise, we can define our own physical calendar by entity. So in a single entity, if you're managing multiple companies, you can manage their financial calendar also with respect to that company. Now let's take me to an example of an allocation. As I said, the same example, I am allocating my advertisement expenses. So on a periodic basis, I am posting all my advertisement expenses. So all these advertisement expenses will come. So I can define where is my source data. So I can see that one, this is my source. In the account coming to 601,300 is my source account. All the advertisement expenses will be posted to this account and it will be shown as a debit balance here. Then what I would like to do is I need to bifurcate or allocate this one to my business unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is my intended allocation. So now what I did is I have I selected my source. I have selected my destination. Now, how proportionately it will be get allocated? There are different ways. We can do a percentage. Equally, it can distribute. We can put a weightage, or we can do a basis also. So what we have done is, in this example, we put it as a basis. What we have done is, we told the system that look at the revenue account, and based on the revenue, it has to be allocated. So then what system will do is, system will understand what is my revenue lying in that account. Based on the revenue, it will allocate the revenue proportion. It will allocate my advertisement expense to my different business unit. So the same way, I can create my accrual schemes. So you can, as a company, you may be having different expenses which spans more time, like your medical insurance, your company renewal. So you can create accrual schemes and set the time period and when it has to be posted. So automatically it will get posted into the system. So we don't need to pass any monthly or monthly entries. Automatically system does this posting. And then obviously we can pass all the general JVs, general transactions like any other system. But the advantage with here is in the dynamics, we can pass an entry to ledger to a customer, to a vendor, to a project, to a fixed asset or a bank. Sitting in the general ledger module, you can pass into a subledger module as well. So if you select customer here, you will get a customer list in the drop down. So this is a very exhaustive functionality available in the general ledger. So you can pass entries between ledger to ledger or bank to ledger or a customer to vendor. Any sort of transactions can be passed from ledger transaction. So this is just an overview about this one. And coming to the financial period close. Now you can see that, as I said, financial period close will be a very tedious task because many things has to be managed here. So what Microsoft does is it is created a workspace dedicated for financial period close. You can see here all the tasks for all the companies are listed here. So when we are operating in multiple entities, you can see all the entities, what is the status, company status here. Okay, so the same way I can see status by area. So module wise, account receivable, how much percentage is complete, account payable, how much is completed, GL, general ledger task, I can see that in the GL, 8 tasks are there, but nothing is completed. In the tax module, how many are completed, in inventory, in the project, in the fixed asset. So I can see what are the tasks for the period closing and by company and by area. And I can go in see by person. You can see here, this is a personal task I am assigned. For example, April, 10 out of 15, 15 out of 10 out of 15 tasks are remaining. So I can see if I click here, it will take you the detailed list of tasks. Again, then it will show all the tasks here. So it is very easy way of managing my period closing. So once you created here, so it is already integrated with your employee self-service. If you're using your employee self-service portal, all the open tasks will be listed here. If a person is logging to the system as in an employee self-service portal, you can see there's a 7 work items assigned to me. Okay, so this is integrated with your employee self-service as well. So the person can view it from their respective tab, or if they're logging to their employee self-service portal, they can see the task, they can see the list of tasks, and they can assign to that. They can take an action on that. So coming to the year-end closing, so the only thing we need to define here is the retained earnings. We need to define the year-end closing result, retained earning accounts. You can result for all the companies, and you can just select the period close and you can click OK. So it is only 2-step process. Once you make sure that all your entries are passed, your period is ready to close. On one thing is you need to select your retained earning account. Second, you select the period, then click on a button, the period would be closed. And the very good advantage is you can do this one multiple times. It is not only one time, so you can do the period closing multiple times. If you want to continue this one, maybe you closed the entity, closed the books today. Maybe there will be some entries, additional entries are coming due to some auditing finding or audit adjustment. You can pause those entries and you can run the process again. So that system will redo the closing process. So these are some high-level features about the GL module. Moving to the tax module. So this is a configurable tax parameter. So in terms of any country, Microsoft Dynamics meet the taxation requirement of almost all countries. So in this part of world, mainly if you look at GCC countries, the standard out-of-box parameters would be enough. So we are creating VAT is 5, 10%, 5% or 15 or 10%. So that is a standard stuff. But if you're looking at any other country where there is a specific parameters are there for the taxation, the Dynamics meet those requirements. So here in the taxation module, you have create sales tax codes and sales tax groups and item sales tax group. So these are all configurable things. So I'm not going about detailing that one, but mainly this is driven by sales tax group and item sales tax group. Sales tax group will be attached to the customer, vendor, or the retail stores, and item sales tax group attached to an item or a journal, so that once the combination got selected, system will identify which is the accurate tax code and it will get applied. So it's an automatic process. Then we can do a tax settlement. Whatever the things which we need to, for example, in UAE, whatever the details we need to be fed to the UAE Federal Tax Authority, or in Saudi to the Zakat Authority, all these informations will come from the system itself. So we can, as I said, we can create your own tax code. And one advantage is tomorrow, if the tax is going to change, we don't need to change any configuration. We can go to the tax code and you can tell that from 1st of January or 1st of December, that percentage is changing from 5 to 10 or 15. So that is the only thing we need to make an amendment if the government is changing the tax codes or the percentage of the tax. Okay, so here I am just showing you here. Now we can see that I changed the company to an Indian company, INMO. So now if you look at the taxation, all the tax codes and the structure of this module is changed. Now I can see GST related information and GST related configuration and setups has came here. So that means when you create a company and you change the country where it belongs, automatically system will brings the tax components related to that country. So you don't need to do any changes. Only thing is you need to create the country and create the company and select the country. So the relevant tax details or the tax hierarchy would come here by default. So that is a very good feature. So we don't need to do any additional setup in the system. So that's about some glimpse about the tax module. And let's move to the budgeting module. So budget have two components. We have a budget planning and a budget control. And we can do a budget management without control as well. So moving to this one, we have the budget. Different budget can be possible. One is ledger budget, where we will define the budget for the revenue and a target for your revenues. Then we have a project-based budget, which is a project-based entities. Then we have a fixed asset budgeting. Then we can have a demand forecasting. For example, if you're using an inventory module and we have done a forecasting for your items, that demand forecasting would be your base for your budgeting. Same, the another one is workforce budget. So in the HR module, when we create the different positions, your organization hierarchy is replicated to a position, and then there is some vacant position is there. So basically we can budget or estimate for a workforce, and that will be in turn will be your base for your budgeting module. So this is my budgeting workspaces. So I can create, first thing is we need to do some basic setups for the budget module. The advantage is we can define which all financial dimensions we need for the budget control. I can select my main account. Along with main account, I can select which all dimensions I need to include for a budget control. Maybe I create 10 financial dimensions, but I don't need the budget control based on that one. So the relevant financial dimension, whether it be a business unit or a department or a cost center, I need to select for the budget financial dimension for the budget control. This is the one basic setup which we need to do. Then there is a provision, we can activate the budget control. Either I can turn it off or activate. So this means if I created a budget and it's turn it off, system will do a budget versus actual comparison. I will get all the reporting, but at the same time, it will not do any budget level controlling. Like I can pass an expense entry or do a purchasing without checking a budget. But at the same time, at the end of the period, I will get actual versus what is budgeted versus actual comparison. And again, I can set it my over budget permission. For example, I am using a control, but still I can define in the system what type of controls we need. For example, I can tell the system that I am not allowing any override. If the budget exceeds, somebody has to go to the system and they have to amend the budget, then only they have to proceed. Or I can tell the system, I can create a budget approval group. I can select certain people in that one, maybe the finance manager or the CFO, depends on the valuation. And those people can do an approval and an exceptional approval for the budgeting. So once the budget planning is done, all the entries will become in the budget register entries. From here, system will manage the incomes, what are the expense budget, it will track and it will control here. Then another good thing is there is a budget planning module is there, because this is the main key area. So defining the budget is a key challenge for any organization, because system does a budget control, approval, everything, but how I arrive at an accurate budget. So this is an area where most of the companies are spending a lot of time, maybe months. So Dynamics brings a systematic process or a systematic way to do your budget planning. So if you see here, we can define what are the different milestones to create a budget. Example, in this one, initial budget preparation will be done. Then the departments will request. Then the CFO will review that one, and the stakeholders or the management will approve. Once it is approved, it will be a part of my budget. So these are the different stages. Here, it is not only the finance department is involving, all the people from different department is getting involved in this process. So this is the company-wise, as per your SOP, you can define your budget planning process, and you can have different budget plans. Maybe the legal department, the HR department, IT, different departments will submit their own budgeting, and it will go for an approval. Once it is approved, it will be part of this budget. And same way, my forecast position. So whatever the position which we need to fill in for in our organization, this also in turn translate to our budget, because I need to forecast, I need to budget for these many open positions to include in the corresponding year. So here in budget planning, you can see that one, system gives a provision to create budget from different parameters. So you can see that one, I can create a budget from a general ledger. I can create a budget from a budget plan. I can create a budget plan for a fixed asset or forecasted position. So what system is doing is, for example, I am in 2023. I want to do a planning. Suppose I have not done my budgeting till, I need to take base of 2022 as for my budgeting, and I need to create a budget. So then we can go to the system. I can tell the system to create a budget plan, and I can put a plan factor. So I am presuming that my expenses will be multiplied by 1.25 factor or 1.5 factor, and I ask the system to generate. So then what system does is, system will look at my actual budget, actual expenses for my previous year, and it will recommend for the budgeting for this year. And in top of this one, there is a AI model available for budget planning. So I will explain in detail in later sessions. So this is a small brief about my budgeting. Then we have a cash and bank management module is there. So we can create all your bank accounts in the cash and bank management module, and we can do a bank reconciliation. So normal reconciliation, yeah, we all doing the normal reconciliation on daily basis, on a periodic basis. But D365 allows to do a auto bank reconciliation. So how the auto bank reconciliation would work is, there is certain certified formats like ISO formats or MT940 format. Mainly in GCC region, MT940 is the main document which does or which used for the bank reconciliation. So if you get this document from the bank, we can load to the system. Then system will read these transactions from the bank reconciliation of MT940 format, and it compares with what is available transaction in the system, and it does an auto reconciliation automatically. So wherever it is matching as per the bank statement, it does an automation or automatic reconciliation. The rest, the people can do a manual reconciliation. Then using the cash and bank management module, you can use the facilities like a letter of guarantees, the letter of credits, whether it's an import letter of LC or an export credit LC, all these things can be managed using the cash and management module. So if you go here onto the cash and bank management workspace, you can see the first one is the import bank statement. So if you click on this button, you can select the bank, click on the button, and you can upload the data, the format. So if your bank is providing an automated document like MT940 format, if it is coming to a particular folder, maybe we can point to that folder and it automatically does the reconciliation. So I can see all my bank account, I can see my bank balances, I can see what is the bank reconciliation pending, and all bank statements also I can see from the same window. So here I can see that there is a bank management. If you click on this particular button, it will display all my bank accounts here, all the relevant details. So here you can see that one, there's a lot of information we can capture against the bank, the additional information, the payment, the reconciliation, etc. So if you want to do an automatic bank reconciliation, you can need to click on this particular checkbox, advanced bank reconciliation. So once so system will tell the advanced bank reconciliation allows to import the import and reconcile bank statement with bank transaction. After activated, it cannot be turned off when there is a bank reconciled. There are reconciled bank transactions. So once you enable the advanced bank reconciliation, you need to import the template or import the MT940 format or an ISO format to do a bank reconciliation. Then you can see that when there is a letter of guarantee is there, the letter of credit, the bank facilities, the post-dated check management, all these standard bank-related activities will be conducted in the cash and bank management module. So here, quickly moving to our accounts payable and vendor collaboration. So related to accounts, we have three modules. In fact, we have accounts payable, procurement and sourcing, and vendor collaboration. Procurement and sourcing comes under a supply chain module, so where the procurement team mainly works on generating the requisition, the quotation process, and the purchase ordering. Accounts payable is where we do mainly the finance team handles the vendor, the payment, the invoicing stuff. So account payable works along with the vendor collaboration. So vendor collaboration is where the system is providing you a vendor portal where the vendor can log in and they can test certain activities. So what are those activities? They can do a bidding process. If we are publishing a quotation for bidding from using the portal, they can bid for, they can submit replies, they can confirm the purchase order. Once you generate a purchase order, they can view all the POs, they can approve the POs as a vendor, or they can submit the delivery date. The third very important thing is they can submit the invoices. So if you look at the traditional way is they will send an invoice, they need to key in they want to find out the purchase order, key in all the information, and we need to book the invoice. But this vendor collaboration portal, vendor can submit their invoices. It will come to you. It will come to us. Us means the finance department. They can just view the three-way matching and they can just post it. If everything matches, there is no discrepancy, straight away they can post the invoice. This will reduce the invoice booking process drastically. So with my experience in all the companies, vendor invoicing booking is the activity which takes longer. When a month comes, maybe the customer side, everything will be on a up-to-date process. But whereas in coming to the vendor invoicing booking, there will be a lot of backlogs because we need to collect these invoices from the vendor. Somebody needs to read it. They have to punch in the system, then do the reconciliation, the three-way matching, etc. So using the vendor collaboration, we can reduce all this hassle and we can make the life smoother for the accounts payable team. So this is your accounts payable module. So you have three workspaces available for vendor invoice entry, vendor invoice automation, and the vendor payment. So coming to the vendor invoice automation, I will explain again. So this is my vendor master. You can create all the vendors and put all the information related to the vendor master, and you can attach all their legal document, like there is a trade license, all these documents can be uploaded, and we can set alert messages as well. For example, a trade license of a vendor is expiring, we can ask them to renew their vendor in their trade license. This vendor invoice entry, you can see here in vendor invoice entry, you can see all the 46 vendor invoices are pending. I can see all my open purchase order, product receipt assigned to me, how many journals are pending, what is my, how many invoice documents are there in invoice pool. All these informations will be available in my vendor invoice entry workspace. Then invoicing. So this is basically a vendor collaboration portal. You can see this is a part of vendor collaboration. So if you go to using the vendor collaboration, this is the interface the customer is, so vendor is getting. So using this one, they can click on a new button, they can submit a new invoice from the vendor collaboration portal, and it will move to my accounts payable module. Here, then it comes the invoice automation, vendor invoice automation. So Microsoft is spending a lot of efforts on this vendor invoice automation process. The idea is if you're getting a document, either if you're getting through a vendor collaboration portal, it will be automatically gets moved to that, to the accounts payable module, and we can post it. But if you're not getting that one, can we read through an OCR or reader and we can translate to the system? Yes, we can do that. We need to integrate with these OCR machines. There are Microsoft is providing different data reading mechanism. Using that, we can read that document and it will translate to an open vendor invoice in our system. So vendor invoicing automation is used for that one. Then we have a vendor payments. So we have vendor payment proposal. So I will explain in detail later. It's a okay, we can create a central payment. So different kinds of payments are possible. If you're when you're transacting in a multiple entity structure, you can do a company-wise payment, or you can do a central payment. Central payment means one company is making payment for all other entities. That also possible. You can create a vendor payment, and then you can select the vendor. You can do a partial payment, overpayment, advance payment. All these standard functionalities are available. Over to that one, there is something called vendor invoice proposal. This is driven by the automation process. So we can set an automation process in the system. So system will automatically run and it will propose what needs to be paid. So we can view that journal and they can take an action of that one. So this also I will explain in detail later. So that's about the accounts payable, and moving to the account receivable. So there are two modules for the sales side. In fact, three: sales and marketing, which where the supply chain management side of it, where we do all the leads, our prospecting, your quotation, and the sales order, the delivery process. Then moving to this one is accounts receivable and credit and collections. Coming to the under finance preview, these are the two modules which majority we are using for our receivable side. Using account receivable side, we can use a customer management, we can do a credit limit management, we can do a sales order invoicing, or we can do invoicing without a sales order. In a normal way, we need to create a sale order and we need to invoice it. But you don't need to, there is some ad hoc invoices which we need to make, and there is no items or a stock involved. We can do a invoicing without a sale order as well. Then we can, using the credit and collection module, follow-up letters and receivable management is very easy using the credit and collection module. So it's a new module introduced with the Dynamics D365. Earlier in AX22, it was not there. Because Microsoft understands that when payment follow-up, like invoice booking of the vendor, payment follow-up is a pain area. So we need to do a lot of follow-ups with the customers. We need to be very proactive to collect the money. So there is a credit and collection module helps the receivable team to manage efficiently. So what they can do is system can send you all the follow-up letters. So once you set the parameters, system will automatically trigger your follow-up letters to the customer. That also multiple follow-up letters can be set in the system. Let's say 10 days before the due date, on the due date, after 10 days of the due date, different set of collection letters can be sent automatically from the system. That is one point of it. Second, as per our company SOP, we can create the task in the system. Let's say if there is a 45 days or 60 days overdue is there, then we need to send a legal notice. Then, or we need to take the phone and call this particular customer. We can create that as a task. So the receivable person, they will be guided instead of using their brain whether I need to call or whether I need to wait. This is a system-driven process. System will tell if it is 45 days, you need to make a phone call and you need to update in the system. If it is more than 60 days, you need to work with the legal department to send a legal notice. So all these, your company SOPs can be set it up in the credit and collection module, and the people will be guided based on your SOPs to follow this. So this is your accounts receivable module. So you have two workspaces for customer invoices and customer payments, and all other related setups, inquiries, reports, all these things are available. I'm not going to detail about all this other stuff. Then you can put all the customer details here. And if you want to do a credit check, so we can enable that one. Mandatory credit limit is enabled. I can set up a credit limit. Now, system will not allow to do more credit than this one. So 500,000 is the credit limit for this customer. System will check this one. So here again, we can set it up different parameters. For example, if the credit limit is exceeding, either we can stop that particular sales process, or we can inform we can route through a special approval process so that somebody authorized to do a credit approval will do an approval, and then it can be proceeded. So here you can do a customer invoicing. The person who are doing the customer billing, they can see this form and they can see that what is shipped but not invoiced to sale orders. For example, three sales orders are shipped, so we need to send an invoices for this one. You can see sales order on hold, unposted free test invoices, open customer invoices, sales order posting history. All these informations they will get from this particular workspace. So same here, we can see all the customer payments. So if you want to record a new payment, you can click on a tile. The customer payment journal gets open. You can select the customer and make the payment. So this is the customer payment workspace. So you can pass all the person related to this one. They can run all the entries from here. So moving to this one, this is my manage credit and collection. So if you look at this, is very elaborative workspace where it will give all the details about the credit management, the collection. So there will be available. There can graphical representation also for the aged balances. You can see age status, balance by status. You can see open activities, open cases, 2 customers over credit limit. So if you click this one, you will get the list. 4 payment journal not posted, 8 collection letters not printed because we need to send these many collection letters. 2 collection letters not posted. So all this information is available in the credit and collections module. So here, as I said, you can set a batch process, you can set a collection process, and then you can set the parameters and click OK. So system will automatically create the collection letter and send it as an email to the customer. So then once the process is done, you can see all these collection letters created for different customers. It is already posted in the system, and you can view this one. So there is a dedicated process to send the follow-up letters to my customers. The same way, I can select all the collection activities. As I said, overview balance, what is my task? I need do an appointment. What is the task? Let's say send a follow-up call or a follow-up email or a legal notice. All these things will be listed here so the relevant person can act on that one. So this is a quick glance on the credit and collections. Moving to the fixed asset module. So here you can see that one, as there is a fixed asset management. You can see all the fixed asset, and you can do all the standard stuff like acquisition, depreciation, disposal. So all the basic things. So the advantage with this one is if you want to create a depreciation proposal, just click on a button and a depreciation button will be created. And for the acquisition also, you can create a fixed asset acquisition from purchase order. So if you look here, I'm creating a purchase order, but there is a fixed asset tab is here. I marked it as a new fixed asset and selected a fixed asset group. So when I am doing a receiving for this particular item, our system will automatically create a fixed asset in my fixed asset master. When I'm doing an invoicing, it will be automatically assigned as a put on service and it will be on a acquired status. So the advantage is that I can use all my fixed asset purchasing process, the approvals, the budget checks, everything can be done, and I can have a proper receiving process and the invoicing process. So in the acquisition can be done different ways. This is the one method. I can use a purchase order, or I can use a journal, or there is a provision to transfer from my inventory to a fixed asset. If there are some items are laying in inventory, and a later period I would like to move from inventory to fixed asset, that can also be possible. So coming to the depreciation proposal, it's super easy. Once all the parameters are set in the system, what I only need to do is I need to select a date interval. So I'm on February, I want to do a depreciation proposal till end of February. So I select the date and I click OK. System will automatically bring all the depreciation proposal in my system. Same way, I can use a sale also. I can use a free test invoices. Free test invoice, as I said, can be used for doing an ad hoc billing. Same way, in the same manner, I can select a fixed asset. So now I select a fixed asset here and post a free test invoice. It will be, as a disposal action, it will be solved from my system. So this is some glimpse of our module. So we have talked about GL, cash and bank management, fixed asset, accounts payable, account receivable, credit and collections, and vendor management. So there are certain other modules also available from the system. Example, there is an asset management is there. So what we have discussed till now is fixed asset, where we can do all the fixed asset maintenance management, like acquisition, depreciation, disposal, revaluation, regarding the reporting, etc. But coming to the asset management module, we can use this asset management for do all our asset maintenance. So maintaining your asset will be a tedious process. There will be periodic maintenance activities conducted by an AMC vendor, or can be done by any other vendor, or maybe an internal. So in which case, we can create the maintenance request in the system and we can take care of all these things. So all the cost it is incurred for the asset maintenance will be booked through this asset management module. So the flow is, it will created with a maintenance request, and from the maintenance, a work order is created, and against the work order, I can put a consumption. Either it could be an hour or an item consumption, or my any other expenses. So the cost will get booked on in my books. So then another one is called expense management. So expense management, if companies, in a lot of companies, they will reimburse the employees for their business travel or any other expenses. So any kind of expenses, they need to reimburse it. So it will be a lengthy process. Maybe some companies, employees will send a mail, then it will go for an approval. Then a mail will be sent to the payroll department or a finance department for the disposal. But using the expense management, we can fully digitalize this process. Example, if I need to do an expense request, I can submit the expense request in the system, and I can attach all the relevant document. You'll go for an approval. Once it is approved, it will be moved to either to a payroll to be a part of your payroll processing to the payroll team, or it could be a payment to the accounts payable team. Then we have a cost management module. This mainly works along with the companies which does the production or the construction or the manufacturing. So all your release the product, the costing of your product, all these things, the inventory loss, the costing, the addition of the overhead costs, all these things will be managed using the cost management module. So you can do a cost analysis and cost management using this one. Then we have a project management and accounting module. So if your industry, if your organization is mainly taking care of project management, you need to have a different module to manage these things. And typically, in project management, we'll create a project. There could be a time and material or a fixed project or an internal or investment project. Then there will be a budget. Then there will be milestone. There will be building, post booking. There will be invoicing. There will be revenue recognition. So that accounting treatment is entirely different. So there is a dedicated module which takes care of that one. That is called the project management module. Then there is a subscription billing and revenue recognition is there. If you're doing a periodic billing, like it's called a subscription billing. So we can put a create a contract, like let's say for 1 year, every month I need to do a particular billing. So we can use this module to a subscription billing. And then if required, we can do a revenue recognition also. In that case, if your revenue recognition is enabled, the revenue will not go to directly to my revenue account. It will go to a park into unrecognized revenue. And from there, on a periodic basis, it will be moved to my recognized revenue. So these are the some modules. This is first my with this, I'm ending my first session. So in first session, I will just recap what we have seen so far is we have just seen an overview of the system. We have discussed about the GL, general ledger, budgeting, tax module, cash and bank management, accounts payable, vendor collaboration, account receivable, credit and collection, fixed asset, and we have seen what are the other specific module like cost management, expense management, project accounting, and subscription billing. So this is an overview or a brief about the modules. So the first part is completed. So I will just move to the second part. So I think we have around 45 minutes left. So I'll quickly move to the second part of my demo. So the second part is on the reporting capabilities. So you can see here in each module, if you go to the system, there will be a place where inquiries and reports. So these inquiries and reports are available in all the modules. For example, if you go to the accounts payable, we have product receipt, vendor aging report, vendor statement, vendor reports, purchase order reports, invoices, payment. So many reports are available from the system. So account receivable also available. So one way of getting an output or a report from the system is from each module, there is a dedicated space for inquiries and reports. You'll get so many out-of-box reports available. This is one way of getting the report. Second is, if you go to the general ledger module, inquiries and report, there is a financial reports available. So if you click here, what we are seeing here, it is something called a management reporter. It is a financial reporting tool coming from Microsoft without any cost. So once you buy the license, you will get a license for management reporter also. So we are seeing a front end, you will get an access to the report configurator as well. So what you can do as a finance team is you can configure your own reports, your own comparison like P&L, balance sheet, YTD analysis, MTD analysis, maybe year 1, 2, 3 analysis. All these sort of reports you can configure in the system by yourself. Okay, so that is the second method of getting the report. It is the management reporter by doing the financial reporting by configuring the report. Third is if you go to any module, as I said, there will be different reports are available. All the workspaces, the different kinds of reports are available. So you have a cash flow forecast, you have a business process, different types of reports are available in the system. So this coming from utilizing the Power BI capabilities. So using the Power BI capabilities, we can see the different kinds of reports. So I will just go through the different reports available in the system. Like this is a cash flow forecast report for a specific company, USMF. You can see the cash position of this company for a particular company, USMF. This is how the cash flow forecast for this company. This cash overview for multiple companies. You can see that this USRT, DEMF, USSI are different companies. So this is an overview considering all the entities. Same way I can see my cash flow forecast or my currency forecast for all the entities. So system will bring all the currency like USD, Euro, GBP. My currency forecast, you can see here, it is a company filter is there. So this is by company, the currency forecast is coming. So these are the bank balances. So each company wise, I can see my bank balances here. So this is the cash overview. This is the cash flow forecasting. This is for the cost administration. If you want to see the beginning balance, my inventory overview, this inventory valuation report. This inventory overview by site and item group. This is when we are using the inventory module, the supply chain modules. You can see that site-wise. For example, if a company is working in multiple sites and a different item group, let's say raw material, finished goods, SFGs, semi-finished goods, you can see these different types of inventory valuation by site and item group. Then this is the cost analysis report. This mainly we do for the manufacturing industry. Then we can do a inventory accounting analysis or ABC classification. For example, cleaner raw material constitute of 49.16%. So what is the consumed materials? What is the cleaner material constitute of 52.79% of your cost of goods sold. So this type of ABC analysis can be done. You can do the inventory accounting analysis. Moving to the customer credit and collections, you can see the collection overview. This is the credit overview, how the credit being utilized by the different customers, by the customer groups, and by segmentation and by area wise. You can see the customer credit limit and collections by company, by customer, by credit analysis. Manage customer credit and allocations. So this is again your cash flow forecasting. So this is my revenue and expense analysis. So here it will show customer past due. I can see 60 customer is already past due. So they have not paid till now. The due date is already passed. Then 9.99 million is already due from different customers. And customer amount over credit limit is 307.13K. So here, if you click on any button, so the system will take you the details of that one. So if you want to analyze in further, you can just click the area and system will give more details about those. So then you can have a trial balance, you have a balance sheet, you have income statement where actual versus budgeted, variance analysis, 12-month trend income statement, expense 3-year trend. All of these things are available in the BA reporting module. So then you can see that fixed asset management, what is my fixed asset valuation, the fixed asset management valuation. Then I can see my budgeting, what is my budget versus actual, revenue versus actual. Then if we are using the asset management, I can see my maintenance request. I can see my vendor payment trends, how the vendor payment is going on, how much amount is past due, how many invoices are past due, how the vendor is my vendor payment, how the performance is going. All these things can be viewed from using the Power BI capabilities. So I can see my work order management for using the asset management. So these are some glimpse of the Power BI capabilities. So as I said, we can go to the system and you can see the details here. So in each module and each workspace, there is a dedicated space for analysis, and in analysis workspace, these are all out of the box Microsoft provided dashboards or the BA reporting. So if you want to create your own dashboards or your reporting, you can create it and you can publish in the dashboard. That's also possible. So to recap on the reporting capabilities, we have 3 ways to get the reporting. One way is as a standard reports and inquiries, which is available in the module. Second is the management reporter, where you can create, configure your own report. Third is the Power BI reporting. So now let's move to some modern finance aspect of the third and last portion of the presentation. So now, the main thing is on the artificial intelligence and the process automation. So Microsoft is also is a front runner for all these automations and the AI things. So there are certain things available. So I can showcase as a sample. So it is not an exhaustive list, but as a sample, which is very relevant to the finance modules. So one called the intelligent credit control check. So there is, as I said, there is a credit and collection module is available, which is already enabled with the AI, so that system can predict whether a customer is going to pay on time or they are going to default it. So if we are getting those intelligence, I think it is very useful for the company so that we can proactively discuss with the customer or we can engage with the customer to get that payment. Then there is an advanced cash flow forecasting is there. So based on the trends, AI-based cash flow forecasting is available. Then we have a centralized payments. So can do a central payments. And how the vendor payment automation works is system will automatically predicts. This is a part of process automation. In the vendor payment automation, it works. The process engine runs on a frequently on a periodic basis. It will bring the data where the vendor payment needs to be done. So we, as an accounts payable clerk or accounts payable person, no need to work on that one. System will work on that one and give an output. So whether to proceed with that one is up to us. So we can take a decision on that one. Then we will just see the vendor collaboration portal, the power of vendor collaboration portal. So let's move to the system. We go to the. So I will take you to the module credit and collections. So here you can see that one, this full module with the customer, your collections. So it collapse. We have customers, we have collections, we have credit management hold list. Like if the customer is on hold, we have different types of holds are possible. Open credit holds. If you want to open it, we can open it from here. Close, we can close it. So different ways we can manage the credit limit. We can do the credit limit and adjustment. Collection letters, as I said, we can create your automatic collection letters and put it here. Then you can run all the processes, payment process. There is a periodic process and different setups, etc. are available. So here, if you go to the customer credit and collection workspace, so you can see that one. Here you can see a lot of analytics are coming. Customers overdue. You can see aged balances can be seen here. We can see the credit limits. We can see the customers on hold. Here, there is something called customer payment predictions. So as of now, there is nothing is predicted as late or very late, but we have already configured that one because the data is not there. That is why it's not showing. But if any payment is going to be delayed or defaulted, it will come here based on the AI engine. Then transaction payment predictions. You can create the cases, activities, notes, and open payment journeys. So here, as I said, we can go to the analytics of all companies. So here the Power BI will work, and then you can see the Power BI reports are loading, and you can see the Power BI reporting. So the person, if you look at that way, if a person is is responsible for doing the credit payment, so he can see all these things from a single page. You can see the collection overview, you can see the credit overview, you can do the credit limit. So you can use the customer over credit limit. So if you want to get this data, you can show us a table is there. So if you want to export the data to an Excel, it's also possible. If you can just click on this one, you can tell summarize data or underlying data. If you click on underlying data, the whole data which is behind this graph will be exported to an Excel. You can view that one. So that's very good advantage if you want to analyze further after seeing this data. If you want to analyze anything further, you can generate that underlying data, take to an Excel, and you can do your own analysis. So this is a very intuitive dashboards, which helps to make a factual decisions. So you can see that this is the underlying data from where data is coming from. This particular graph is opening. So we have seen all these things. So all these reports, everything is coming from here. Now moving back to credit and collections, you can see here there is a financial insight is there. So customer payment predictions is a financial insight. So which is driven by AI-driven activity. So those AI parameters, the training the AI and training the system can be done here. So if you use the financial insight, there are three things which is already configured, which is AI-driven. One is cash flow forecasting. This is AI-driven. Budget proposal, again, it is an AI-driven, and customer payment prediction is also AI-driven. So these things are already be configured for the finance thing. And you can see that one, if you want to enable this, this is the Power BI embedded AI builder available in Dynamics. So from this application, it will be open Power BI AI builder. Here you can build your own AI and you can train that one, train the system. So what I'm telling this is this financial insight. These are the 3 AI-driven models we have already embedded in the finance modules. So Microsoft is releasing so many AI models for the different types of predictions, etc. So we can also create our own AI models and we can publish it based on our requirement. If you go to the budget planning module, budget management, budgeting. So here also there is a budget planning process is there. This is also an AI-driven process. So when you are going to the budgeting and generate a budget plan from general ledger. So this is, since it is an AI-enabled, system will bring AI intelligence to predict your forecast or your budgeting based on the past history. System will bring what should be your optimum budget for your current year. So this process also, it is an AI-driven process. Then coming to these workspaces, we have third one is the cash flow forecast. So I think cash flow forecast is a place where we need, many companies are struggling because we need to, how we predict an actual cash flow or a near life cash flow forecasting. So AI driven will help you to create more accurately the cash flow forecasting. The good thing with the cash flow forecast is, you can see this is my cash flow forecasting workspace. So you can see all the reports here. You can see the cash flow positions, cash flow forecasting, etc. This also is done by enabled by an AI-driven process. Here, you can set it up how the cash flow needs to be won. So for example, I can derive this cash flow from 2 sources. One is dynamic 365 source from the data within the ERP. So if you click here, you can see I can bring the data from GL, accounts payable, accounts receivable, budgeting, inventory management, financial dimensions, all these things. So this is my data which derives my cash flow forecasting using the data which resides inside the application or inside Dynamics. But the same way, I can bring in my external data as well. So I can add an external data to this one. I can use a OneDrive for business, maybe an Excel sheet or a spreadsheet can be a driven factor for my external sheet, or I can put some data in my SharePoint. I can use it as a external source. So basically, there is because many of times maybe cash flow forecast may not be entirely driven by an ERP data alone. Maybe some external factors are driving that one. So we can link my external data and my internal data, which data resides within ERP, and then I can create a cash flow forecasting. So then I will just show something, the financial analysis. So the same data for my cash flow forecast is available there, and it will be available in my financial analysis as well. So here there are two different dashboards out there. One is financial analysis and financial analysis current company. So once the data get loaded, we can see the financial overview, revenue and expense insight. We can get the subledger insights. We can set the trial balance, etc. So here, this is the financial insight which are coming from the system. Now, just we have a quick look at the vendor collaboration portal. So we move to the vendor collaboration. So this is the vendor collaboration portal, which the our vendors would see. So there are 3 different workspaces available: purchase order confirmation. They can confirm all the purchase orders from using this one. Vendors can do it. They can do a vendor information. You can do a bidding from here. The most important is I want a small demonstration on the invoicing part. For example, assume that now I am a vendor. I'm not a part of an ERP user. I am the vendor. I am logging to the system. I need to submit an invoice. I will just click new. I select my purchase orders. All the purchase order listed will become here. I will put my invoice number. Select my invoice date. I put my description. and I create invoice. So the vendor can access all the purchase orders from the system and they can submit an invoice. Now the vendor part is completed. Now accounts payable clerk sitting here, they can go here. I can see accounts payable module. I can see my invoices, pending vendor invoices. I can see for the same purchase order 150 INBF, this is already submitted. And I can see my three-way matching status also, it is passed. So if everything is okay, I can just view it. I can just click on a button and it will get posted. So this is the advantage of the vendor collaboration portal. And moving to the last thing, it is on the process automations. Microsoft is coming with different types of automations. You can see this one is AI-enabled process automation, cash flow automation. So it is periodically running, and future also it is already scheduled for me, future period. Then customer collection also, it is already scheduled, creating the follow-up letters, etc. is already created. Then another one is the vendor payment proposal. So this is an automation which is running. So here, if you look at here, there is a payment is already created on 31st. After that, I have not taken any action. That is why it is not created. The process is running, but it is not taken any action. But if you go here, my view payments, system is automatically created a vendor payment with all the proposed lines for payment. Okay, so you can see that one. This is the system created payment proposal. So if you are agreeing with that one, you can create a, you can go ahead with that. Or if you want to edit it, you can edit this one. You can remove lines, you can add lines, you can post it. So this is a small example of the process automation which system brings. So we can run the automation and then it will reduce the human efforts. System will bring the data, then only we have to put our intelligence to whether to proceed with or that or not. So this is on from my side on the presentation. And to recap, so we have seen the basics of the system, like what are the key areas for the finance modules, the reporting capabilities, and some AI and process automation stuff. And that's from my side. Thank you for your time. And I'm over to Anish. I think we can move to the QA session.
Right, so we thank you so much for the session. I'm sure this is certainly valuable, and the audience got what they were expecting out of this session. A good overview about the finance system, the modules, the reporting capabilities, and then some of the AI-driven modern finance capabilities that we have in the system. So we are open to questions. We have another 15-20 minutes. In case there are questions, you can raise your hand and we can take them up one by one.
Anish, I guess there were some written questions already, right? So are we going to take it up?
Yes, we'll bring that up as well. I think there was this question, Mr. Dhananjay Rai had shared that can we integrate Power BI with Dynamics 2009 SP1?
Yeah, yes, you can definitely use Power BI with AX 2009. But I don't know whether the customer is still running AX 2009 with a lot of risk at this moment, right? Sanjay, can you put your views?
I think we can.
Yeah, yes, the answer to that one is yes, possible. We can use Power BI. But what we suggest from our side is to upgrade to the D365, the latest version.
I hope there are no more questions left with. If there are anything which you require additional questions and answers, you can contact our sales team for that purpose. And thank you all for joining. So if any question is there, you can write to Anish. Uh,
I think, Sobi, there is a question from
Okay.
Mr. Jignesh.
Okay.
I have allowed your mic, Mr. Jignesh. You can unmute yourself and speak up.
Yeah, hi. Thank you very much for giving this detailed session, and it's really like very interesting and very fruitful. Honestly, I'm new to the dynamics, so my main request, like first request was like if you can get a first session recorded, then it will be very good self-learning. We can have on our own, and going forward session also we can attend. Yeah. Otherwise, yes, we are already using the latest version of Dynamics, and it is good to see so many AI capabilities and reporting tools. Yeah, that is really adding the values. So thank you very much. So how we will get that presentation recorded session by email, or how you guys will be able to share?
Yeah,
So,
we
Mr.
will be
Jignesh.
uploading.
Yes, Anish, go ahead.
Sorry, we'll be uploading the video on our website. It is under the events section. So we have the first session already uploaded there, which we did in November, and we'll over the next few days we'll just edit the this recording and have it uploaded on our website. So once it's ready, we'll circulate an email with everyone.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
So if you would like to have a one-to-one consultation with our principal consultants, you can just respond to this poll and our team would reach out to you.
Is there any other question?
Anybody who would like to ask any question, they can just raise their hand and I'll allow their mic to speak. I think we have one.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Merajuddin. You can speak now. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for an excellent session. This is Miraj here from Lone Star. We have our Oracle team senior developer here with me, and he has a question. He wanted to know that is it possible for us to migrate the existing Oracle data to Dynamics?
Yeah. Yeah. You can migrate some set of data. I'm not saying like that. You need to migrate the entire transactions. What we will generally will do for such cases, we will do a reporting level consolidation for the existing data. So your data from old system will be consolidated along with the data in the new system. So a user will be able to query the data from wherever they wanted. Otherwise, we need to think about a complete data migration project. That can be little prolonged. A general D365 implementation can get completed in 6 months. When you have the entire data migration to be done, then probably it can go up to 9 months.
Okay. Thank you. Another question. This is the BA you are showing now, Power BA. This will be included the license or it will be a coding model or separate license you want to purchase?
It depends on different scenarios. If you have existing data in D365 F&O, it's embedded license, embedded Power BI is used. You doesn't need to buy any additional license for that purpose. If you want to club the data from external system to D365 F&O, then you have to buy a Power BI license to club the data.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Anybody else who would like
a couple
to
of
ask any
responses.
question?
Yeah, we have a couple of responses where people have requested for a consultation. So we will be reaching out to you directly and scheduling some time with you.
Yeah. Anish, this is, I think, a couple of questions which we received earlier. So if you have any other questions, we maybe quickly go through these points. Hope you can see the screen, right?
Yeah, sure. Yes, we can.
So what are the modules available in Dynamics? Does cover all company functions, transactions from manufacturing to project management, to quality, to HR, payroll, to sales distribution, including inventory, warehouse management, and material supply? Yes, it covers everything. Healthcare sector related examples, costing at procedure level. Costing at procedure level is possible. So normally in healthcare sector, whether it's a, you're on mute or?
Yeah, I'm not on mute. Yeah.
Hello. I think it's.
Yeah. So the
So,
healthcare sector, yeah, you can have the healthcare sector, then you should be able to integrate with 365 based on different costing components, whatever it is required as part of that one.
So we have done different levels of integrations and the procedure level revenue and analysis, revenue and expense analysis we have done. So basically we are integrating with the hospital, clinic, or the healthcare systems. So we get the data and we will do the posting in the ERP system. So yes, we will get at the procedure level. Is it possible to have an API with LAS EC software? Yes, we have. Just Google that software. Yes, it's possible because Dynamics allows to API integration. So integration with any solution is possible. Then how to block overdue customers from sales order level. As I said, there is a detailed credit and collection module is available. There are so many things we can do with, not only the blocking and automatic unblocking. So all these things are possible. Then migration strategy of ERP from MX Dynamics 2009 SP1 to new platform. Microsoft doesn't suggested direct path from 2009 to D365. Only way is we need to upgrade from 2009 to 2012, and then 2012 we need to migrate. But there will be a lot of maybe if you are using 2009, you could see that one there are a lot of functionalities get added to the compared to 2009. So maybe it is a good thing we need to do as a fresh implementation on a D365. So our suggestion, yes, it is possible, but it's a lengthy route. So rather than that one, effort-wise, cost-wise, it is wise to implement in a D365 as a fresh implementation and move all the opening balance and the master data. Then linking all transactions to finance through ERP and not through other manual communication. Yes, that's the fundamental of the ERP. So we have posting profile which links all the subledger modules to the main ledger. So there will not be any manual intervention. How Dynamics can help to distribution business wherein we have more than 20K SKUs. Also need to know the EDP to reduce the staff at backend, e-commerce integration, warehouse management system. Yes, 20K we can easily manage. So we have warehouse or the retail implementations like hypermarket where it is the SKU level is close to million. So 20K is system can easily handle. So there is no problem related to the number of SKUs. And reducing the staff that we cannot comment because we need to do a business analysis, how many staffs are involved and what they are doing and all. Then e-commerce integration, yes, we have done multiple e-commerce integration. And WMS, it's a part of Dynamics 365 warehouse management system. We have an advanced warehouse management system available as a module. We can use that one. Or if you're using any third-party logistics, we can integrate that system to Dynamics. BA reports, yes, we have seen that one. BA reports are available. Sensitive bills, accounts, and invoices. I didn't understand what's meant by sensitive invoices. Yes, bills, accounts, and invoices is possible. Sensitive, if in case of data security, yes, we can have a specific record level data security for this one, maybe to access from other users. The scope of approval metrics. Yeah, this is one thing I think I would have mentioned in the overview. Dynamics comes with a built-in approval process for almost all process, like for the payment approval, journal approval, PO approval, purchase requisition approval, quotation approval. All these places we have an approval matrix. That is again a configurable workflow. So you can configure your own workflow. So there I can put multi levels of conditions. For example, if it is the threshold is more than 1 million, it has to go to CFO. Less than that, finance manager can approve. So n level of approval levels are there. So it is a robust system for approval metrics. We can configure based on the business need. Data migration from existing Oracle proprietary or custom built ERP and custom module development. Yes, there are 2 points to this one. Data migration, as Sajid said, it's possible, but our recommendation is don't go for the transaction level data. Take your data like a master data, like your chart of accounts, fixed asset, customer, vendor, item, bank balances. So whatever this master data you have to bring to the new system, maybe after do a proper cleansing, then we can bring all the opening balance related to the item opening balance, stock opening, customer opening balance, vendor opening balance. So the system can function. But if you're looking at a transactional level, like all the history purchases, sales and all, it may not be recommended because it will be a huge exercise. Or what is we are recommending now is if you have some sensitive data or that data is very important, we will create a table or a custom table inside D365 and we will load the data there. And we use that table for our reporting or Power BI reporting. Custom module development, yes, we can do. We also created different modules on top of Dynamics, on the real estate, on the insurance billing, on power payroll, all these things. So custom development is possible. Point of sale on Microsoft Dynamics 365 and integration of Oracle to MS Dynamics 365. Yes, possible. We can keep point of sale, the retail front in the system with the related inventory and planning. And all other stuff maybe can be managed in other ERP like SAP or Oracle. We have done integration with Oracle and SAP for the same set of in same scenarios. So that's possible. The last point in this, ledger settlement. Yes, we can do a ledger settlement like a cash bank reconciliation. We can do a ledger settlement and reconciliation. Those functionalities available out of the box. So I think these are the questions which we received before starting the webinar. If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we can wind up the meeting.